Yeah. I'm not buying it, dude. We're not buying it, dude. Even Elon Musk thinks there's something fishy, and we're all behind you, Elon. We're all behind you. We're so sick of being lied to. We don't like being lied to. Give me one moment. I'm getting something pushed up on here, you guys. And we're upset, man. And we're all a little bit pissed, actually. Not just a little bit, we're quite a bit pissed. And the more I look into this, the more upset I get. It's just, oh boy. If you guys are taking a look at what's happening, I think a lot of you guys would realize that this is upsetting, man. I mean, this is really, really upsetting. I just don't understand how people are blindly going along with this. So people are just like, oh, it's okay. This is what California does. California takes a while. No, this is what third world countries do. This is third world country behavior, you guys. You guys have to, there's got to come a point in time where we have to say enough is enough. This is third world country behavior, what's happening, okay? Can we all at least agree on that? It's insanity. I mean, it's levels of insanity that I'm not understanding. Give me just a few moments, though, you guys. Hold on. Yeah, this is frustrating, man. TJ says, I think this was the DOJ setting a trap for... Oh, they found one address on Skid Row getting 10K ballots for the homeless. That's insane. That's insanity. I just don't trust what's going on, man. I do not trust what's happening. Something's not adding up. And the Department of Justice needs to investigate this wholeheartedly. But yeah, man, I'm stunned, dude. Absolutely floored. Absolutely stunned, dude. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Oh, hold on. I thought this was going to be a short clip. Never mind. I thought this was going to be like a tiny clip. Oh, here we go. Kevin McCarthy says
Welcome back to Sunday Night in America.
California elections lack transparency.
America primary season is in full bloom, even as we keep one eye on November. Last week, there were surprises in Iowa, New Jersey, and California. This week, more drama, even in my own beloved South Carolina. Joining us is a man who knows more about how to win and keep the House than just about anyone on earth, former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Welcome, Mr. Speaker. What surprised you last week with those elections?
Well, what surprised me is, in California, how different the elections are than they were 8 years ago prior to having Gavin Newsom become governor. The election law that he changed has made California far behind. Trey, there are three things you want in election law. You want to make sure you have election integrity. You want to make sure you have transparency. Then you want to make sure you have timely results. Instead of taking 1 to 2 days to count all these, it's now taking a month. So
it shouldn't take a month. That is just unbelievable. That is just stupid. That is level. That's like, this is third world crap, dude. This is third world crap. I'm telling you, man. California claims to be so enlightened, claims to understand the world so much. Their government's so incompetent, dude. California's government is beyond incompetent. It's insane.
What we're losing is people's trust in the election process. Now,
Yeah, I don't trust what's happening in California.
believe Hilton, who was leading, who is in second right now, I believe looking at the numbers, you can call it that he is going to make the runoff, because in California, it's the top two. But if you look in L.A., Pratt, who ran a very good campaign, who was in second, it looks...
Pratt was clearly in second. It was clear as day. Even Nithya Raman conceded. Even Nithya Raman conceded on election night. She was like, there's no way I can catch up to that. And then all of a sudden, you expect me to believe 5 days later, somehow she caught up. I'm not buying it. We're not buying it. The world is not buying it. This is why you're seeing coverage about this. This is why it's hitting the national spotlight. You look at the comment section of any of these videos, people aren't buying what you're selling. California.
Looks as though with these latest numbers that he...
And questioning it is perfectly, completely reasonable, completely valid. Annie, what up? Good morning. We're talking about California. They're a third world state at this point.
Could fall down. Well, that brings distrust into the system, and it's harder to govern if people don't trust the system and don't have the transparency. So if we could make a few changes in California, I think we'd get better candidates, better participation, and better results.
All right, let's move to the East Coast. I keep reading these stories that somehow the Jeffrey Epstein...
I'll tell you what, and to anybody who's saying that, well, what if this was a red state that was doing this? Would you be making as much of a fuss? Yes, I would. If it was a red state doing this, I would make just as much of a fuss because, first off, I would like to believe the Conservative Party's better than that. It shouldn't take 5 days post the election day for us to figure out who the F won. And if it does, and you're still counting, we're doubting what's happening. And the reason we're doubting what's happening is because in those 5 days, you can do just about anything. If let's just say you are nefarious and you're trying to make something happen behind the scenes, we're giving you ample amount of time to make a result happen. And the reason nobody trusts California right now. Nobody. And you can't blame people for not trusting them. I definitely don't trust what's happening in California. No way, Jose. No way. So, look, if this happened let's say this happened in, I don't know, what's a good red state example? Let's say this happened in Texas, right? Let's say it took Texas 5 to 7 days after the election to count their ballots. I would be furious. I don't even care what the result ends up being. I would be extremely furious, asking why is it taking so long? And then I would be looking for patterns, just like I am now. It should not take this long to count ballots. And also, by the way, your system sucks if it takes this long. I don't care if that's the rules of California. They're third world country rules, okay? It's third world, all right? It's terrible. The rules that you're playing by, California, we're not buying it. We're not buying it, okay? We're just not buying it.
Vote cost Nancy Mace Donald Trump's endorsement. She was never going to get his endorsement for governor of South Carolina for more reasons than I can list in a 1-hour show. Well, what are these, like, liberal magazines and newspapers talking about? It wasn't between Pam Ebbett and Nancy Mace. They must not follow South Carolina politics. He was never going to endorse Nancy Mace.
You know that well. Everybody knows that well. It's just Nancy has a hard time with the truth and a lot of other things. She looks like she's in 5th place now. That's probably where she'll turn out in this election. I mean, you have a lot of great other candidates running. I mean, when you look at your attorney general and your lieutenant governor, that's where the president was always looking to who he was going to endorse, because they're both such good quality candidates. That's why he delayed in making that endorsement. Mace was never in the running to ever get.
Annie is saying nothing wrong with questioning elections. Exactly, Annie. Nothing wrong with it. Look, if we are in a free, if we have free and fair elections, by the way, if we do really have free and fair elections, we are allowed to question whether they are free and fair. If we are not allowed to question whether they are free or fair, then we're not in a free and fair election. Free and fair elections deserve scrutiny. And if they can't be scrutinized, then there's something fishy going on and they're not truly free and fair. Because any sort of questionable things can happen during an election. To say that it can't happen in America, in all actuality, is childish and ridiculous. By the way, Mud Butters, even if Spencer Pratt came in second, I would still be questioning what's happening in California. You want to know why? Because it shouldn't take you 5 to 7 effing days to still count the rest of the damn ballots. Are you kidding me? Hey, Mud Butters, guess what? Even if Spencer Pratt ended up getting second instead of third, I would still be questioning this. You should question this, Mud Butters. Why are you not? If this was a red state, dude, you would be mad. You would be mad that they're taking about nearly a week after the election. It should not take this long after Election Day to figure out who the winner is. I'm sorry. California has the stupidest election rules. And if it can't get... And California does everything stupidly. Let's just face it. California is the most backward state in all 50 states. Oregon's a close second, and I live in Oregon. I hate even to say that. We're so backwards. But yeah, socialist California. Of course, socialist, communist California. Ruining their own state. There is absolutely everything wrong with what California is doing. Absolutely everything wrong. It should not take this long to count ballots.
Get an endorsement.
And I know that's the rules of California. Well, guess what? Your rules are terrible. They're third world country rules.
All right, Graham Platt.
Florida has it right. Florida does it right. If anything, California should be modeling what the frick Florida's doing.
Is likely the Democrat nominee in Maine. Eric Swalwell, speaking of California, he's still got votes even after potentially criminal misconduct came to light. And there are also Republicans with skeletons as well. Does character matter anymore? I mean, how do voters factor in personal conduct when they go into the voting booth?
They don't care.
Look, no candidate's perfect, and I think people are look at the honesty. If you stumbled early on, but you corrected yourself and moved forward. But look, in these elected, be it Senate, be it the House, they're a microcosm of society. But you had a lot of people who knew about Eric Swalwell. Not everything, but knew a lot of bad things about it. It's kind of like how the Democrats knew about Biden, but once the rest of the country saw it, they wanted him off stage. Same thing happened with Eric Swalwell. With Republicans, we had a Matt Gaetz. And when the truth finally comes out, a lot of people wanted those two people removed. The Democrats now know the failing of this candidate Plattner. They've asked him, is there anything more? I believe at the end of the day, the voters are going to say, I may want to be a Democrat and want to win.
I live in, I live in Oregon. I live in Newport.
But I don't want to win with that failed of a candidate. From a Nazi tattoo to the background we're learning now. If they're flawed there, they're going to be flawed in the future as well.
All right, before I let you go, let's assume Speaker Johnson, Richard Hudson call you tonight. They wake you up because I know you go to bed early, and they say, how do we win this fall? What is your advice?
Well, I would stick first, unite the team, stop fighting with the Senate Republicans, but show what you have actually passed. The House has worked hard. And I would tell you what it was like a month ago from today, they got a better chance of winning the election. The Democrats have to overperform 5 points greater than they did in the last election to be able to win. A month ago, they only needed 3 seats, the Democrats, to win the majority. They need 9. Focus on the economy between now and the election. Get that gasoline price down. Show that you kept your word. Talk about the new Trump accounts where every child, regardless of color or where they live, they're going to get a brighter future. That you did secure the border with allowing immigration to come in an honest way. Show them that you...
What's Annie saying? Let's see. BBT Bob says, dang, what I missed, Annie. Tomorrow's teaching. Random guy did a... Annie says, random guy did a gift reveal. We met Christian. A face reveal. A face reveal. We met Christian and can't remember the guy with the long hairs name, but it was awesome. Oh, my boy Antoine. Yep. It basically was a Tomorrow's Teachings episode, though. Hey, it's okay. It's okay, BBT Bob. I mean, if you want to replay it, you certainly can. It's still available for replay if you want to take a look at it. But yeah, Ty Lord did a face reveal, dude. He did a face reveal. It was pretty tight.
You've rebuilt this military. Show the future that you're keeping your word and you need to finish the job that you set out to do.
Whip, majority leader, minority leader, speaker, retook the House 2 times that I know of, maybe more than that. The gentleman from Bakersfield, California, Kevin McCarthy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for joining us.
Thank you, and congratulations. One thing I never did was get a show for 5 years and be #1 like you, so I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm as surprised as you are.
Be sure to like.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I gotta say, man, just like Kevin McCarthy said, man, California elections lack transparency. Transparency matters. If we want to believe that this was a free and fair election, we need a little transparency here. Oh, Trump is urged to finish off Iran's military targets. Let's take a look.
So right now, a potential return to a ceasefire in the Middle East as Iran and Israel appear to halt their strikes after trading fire overnight. The first strike since the April ceasefire between those two, but there's been a lot going on since the April ceasefire. First off, let's take a look. April 8th, ceasefire between U.S., Israel, and Iran takes hold. It's fragile. Hours after ceasefire, Israel strikes Hezbollah terrorists because Hezbollah doesn't stop hitting Israel. They got drones from Russia that right now are fiber optics and tough to detect, so they're doing a lot of damage in the north. Iran says the attacks violate the ceasefire agreement, but we don't control what's happening when a terrorist organization bombs an ally, do we?
Yeah, we can't. So, yeah.
Meanwhile, in May,
I think Iran doesn't negotiate in good faith. This is my problem with Iran, first and foremost, is they just don't negotiate in good faith. I don't like it.
It's a heck of a ceasefire. As you see, it's a slow build. Iran attacks the UAE. Why? Because they're there. Iran attacks merchant ships and transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Why? Because they suddenly think they control the strait, although it's international waters. The U.S. strikes back. Now watch things ratchet up. It comes June. We have Iran saying they suspended peace talks. Why? Because they can't get their act together. They got the extremists and they got the so-called moderates who are also extremists, but not as extreme as the one amongst them. And they cited operations in Lebanon. The operations aren't the Israel against Lebanon, it's against Hezbollah, who they are financing, they are supplying, and they are training to bomb Israel. Think that through a second. 2 days later, Iran strikes Kuwait. Why? Because they think they're unarmed and they can strike easily and do some damage because they can't hurt us. And then June 6th, again, Iran targets our vessels in the strait, so we hit them back. Iran targets Bahrain and Kuwait because they can't do any damage to us. They get frustrated and they want the Gulf states to begin to turn on us, so they start bombing them.
Yeah, it's time, Annie, I agree. It's time for Trump to act and stop negotiating. No more negotiations. No more negotiating. I think negotiating with Iran is just such a stupid idea. Like, it really is dumb. Just take out the rest of the Iranian military targets. Take out the rest of the Iranian regime and then just let Iran figure it out for themselves from there and then get out of there.
And they get nervous because they're not necessarily strong armies. They do have strong defense, but not against, let's say, drone swarms. And then the next day, Hezbollah fires missiles against Israel because they didn't sign on to the peace deal, even though they called the president and said they would. Israel strikes back because they're not going to be patsies. And then Iran fires missiles at Israel. Israel returns fire.
Well,
that's where we're at right now. Now let's discuss it.
Yeah, I think what needs to happen here is we need to stop negotiating with Iran. Stop it. Trump, just finish the freaking job, dude. I love you, Trump dog, but finish the job. We're done negotiating with Iran. Iran's not going to negotiate with us in good faith. They don't do anything in good faith.
With K.T. McFarland, used to work for the first Trump administration, dates all the way back to Henry Kissinger, and knows what a problem Iran has been. KT, your thoughts where we're at right now. It seems that America getting back involved is inevitable. Do you see it the same way?
Ultimately, yes. Because what's happening is, as you very rightly pointed out, Iran is fractured. The leadership is fractured. They have the moderates and the so-called pragmatist moderates and then the crazies. It's really just they have the crazies and then they have the craziers. And the crazy.
Yeah, I think everybody in Iran's crazy. That's what I think.
Craziers are the IRGC. And so every time the moderates seem to come up with some kind of an agreement, a ceasefire agreement, a potential peace plan, it's the extremists, it's the IRGC that sabotages it, doing all the attacks that you've just outlined. So what's the end solution? Can you trust them? Absolutely not. Even if you got an agreement with...
Yeah, even let's say the agreement does happen, can we trust that Iran is going to honor any aspect of the agreement? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's stupid for us to even believe that that would happen. Iran ain't gonna, they're not going to honor anything. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm going to make some chicken stuff. Hold on. I'm hungry. All right, let's keep going, bros.
With Iran, the extremists, the IRGC would probably sabotage it. So what do you need to do? You need to prevent their ability to break the agreement. Can't not just verify, not just make sure they're doing it, but to have an absolute ability to stop them from breaking the agreement. How do you do that? I think you're right. You ultimately have.
You can't really do that. Once they break the agreement, you just got to tear it up. And then you just got to go to full war with them. You know, this is serious. Iran doesn't realize that how, like, nobody trusts Iran because they've been the #1 state sponsor of terror for a while. And who would? Jordan Peterson? Did you just say Jordan Peterson? You gotta clean your room. Sometimes I cry. I don't know why. But Jordan Peterson is one of my idols. I don't understand. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You don't understand what you're doing with your life. If you don't clean your room, you don't have order in your life. And one of the reasons you're such a bad person. You're a bad person. I love JP, dude. I love Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson. Oh, anyway, let's keep going, you guys. Ethan Moore in the house. We got BPT Bob. We got Not Loss, probably some leftist. To all the leftists in the chat, I don't give a hell what you think. I'll tell you that your butt stinks and all that. What is a juggalo?
Have to go in and finish the military targets, not the energy targets, not the other things, but the military targets.
So, KT, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So, KT, you know the president, his thinking. He has good instincts. He wants peace, obviously, but he's not afraid to use military might. What do you think he's waiting on? Because all indications, to Brian's point, shows that they're not serious about a deal.
Pretty good, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, you see, I think President Trump, he's the only guy in the picture who is looking at the bigger picture. Israel, we have the same objectives as Israel does, but maybe a different priority. Everybody wants Iran to have no nuclear weapons. We got that. But then after that, Israel's priority is its own security in the region. That means Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iran. Our priority, and particularly President Trump's priority, is he's looking at a much bigger picture. He wants a total realignment in the Middle East. You know, and he said it. Now, the thing about President Trump is he says what he means. It's just he says so much, sometimes people don't pick up on what's important and what's not. He has said that he wants every country in the region, including maybe Iran, if we get a deal with them, to join the Abraham Accords. So right now...
I don't know if we can get them to join, though. Can we get them to join? I don't know.
Now, President Trump has to worry about Israel. He's got to worry about Iran. But he's also got to worry about those Gulf Arabs that he wants to join the Abraham Accords. Countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like Kuwait, because they have been hesitant. And they've been sort of saying to President Trump, look, you know, if you go, quote, finish the job, maybe the job gets expanded. Maybe our oil fields are attacked. So President Trump's got to navigate all of these different voices, all of these different interests. For the end, though, which is he wants peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, and KT, you've told our producers, you said this can't go on much longer. We have midterms and
laugh out loud
economy. And
hey, thank you, Annie, for the happy poop yum yum. I appreciate it. Annie's helping us out. Annie's helping us out.
Society, KT, we're a press conference soon on MSG and the security there because the president.
Hey, thank you so much for the gifts, though. And by the way, Madison Square Garden tonight, dude. Donald J. Trump is going to be in MSG. You know what that means? President's going to a finals game. I think he's the first president ever to go to an NBA finals game during his presidency. You know what that means? He's even more you-know-what than Obama.
President will be there tonight at the game. So thank you so much for coming on. You're always the best to talk to about this. We appreciate it.
Dude, President Donald J. Trump in the house at MSG, dude. Oh. Pat Bet David says California's cheating.
When Trump walked out,
I can agree with this. I can get down with this.
This kind of leads me into the next story. with Spencer Pratt. So you guys know we talked about it like a week ago, and everybody was expecting him to advance with Karen Bass, and he was going out there celebrating the picture with him
Karen Bassoul
and his wife. He had an 8-point lead, and everyone's looking at this chart. If you look at this, Rob, if you want to zoom in a little bit, so the blue is Karen Bass, the orange is
Yeah, I love how Nithya Raman goes from this. So it's this and this, all the way up to this. I'm not buying it, dude. I'm not buying it. Nobody's buying it.
Spencer Pratt, and the green is Raman. Now watch what's going on here. June 2nd is election.
That is a little sketch. Not just a little bit sketch, but quite a bit sketch. That is extremely sketchy.
Look at the difference in lead on where Spencer Pratt is.
And there's a reason everybody's questioning California right now. There is a very good reason why everybody's questioning California right now, and it makes perfect sense to me.
Look at the third and fourth. And then look at the spike. Look at the spike. So you mean to tell me out of all those thousands of votes, now all of a sudden they only want to do Raman?
That's insane.
That's what they want to do? That's what you mean to? You want me to believe that? And it goes from 71,000 to 153,000. Look how Bass only goes up 30,000, but she goes up 83,000 votes, 82,500 votes. And during that time, only Pratt goes up 44,000 votes. And then they're catching up. And Rob, if you go to the new chart that shows Raman ahead, you will see this. So this is what it's looking like now. Malin's arriving before election. Bass 38, Pratt 28, Raman 20. Pratt's got a 28 point.
Yeah, and I love it. Malin's arriving before Election Day. Pratt doing pretty good. Raman doing pretty shitty. Malin's arriving after Election Day. Raman was basically a nobody in this election. We're just not convinced that Raman made this run. We're just not convinced that this surge. We something doesn't pass the smell test. Something here is not passing the smell test. And Pat Bat David, thank you for pointing this out. I appreciate you pointing this out, man, because we're told not to question this. We're told not to question any of this. We should question all of this. The more that you're told not to question is the time that you should question. I repeat, the more you're told not to question anything is the time that you should question everything.
Point lead. Malin's arriving after election. Raman 37%, plus 17.
Laugh out loud.
Gus, what's up, dude? Gus Krazios, thank you for the gold coin, my brony brother, for 10 jewels. Oh, we got another gold coin, bro. Everybody give a shout out to Gus, baby. Gus is coming up on the screen.
Laugh out loud.
Hey, thank you for anybody who wants to send a gift, though, it does help the channel in a lot of ways. You get the recognition on screen. Your name gets shown on screen for any gift that you send. So any virtual gift you send, your name gets plastered on the center of the screen. So keep that in mind, everybody. Keep that in mind.
Goes down 3. Pratt goes down 9. You want people to believe this. Then there's another one, the vote 83% counter translates. Not this one, Rob. The other one where the judge is talking about how they allow people to vote in L.A., and I even send it to you guys. I think you have it, Rob. If you go through the notes, you definitely have. This is the one. Watch this. So first go to the bottom for him to show the picture, because I think this is reacting to a picture. If you want to make this a little bit bigger. So he sends this in, talking about what's really.
Hey, you're welcome, Gus. We love you, bro. We love you, Gus Krazios. Got that love. Got that love. Thank you, brother. Mucho apreciato.
Going on. Sends it to Honorable Shirley Ann Weber, Legal Office of Secretary of State, State of California. And he goes back and go to the tweet, Rob. Let's go back to the tweet if you can, please. Okay, go all the way to the top. California is blocking. I spoke to Spencer Pratt last night. I said,
California is blocking a federal audit of its voter rolls. That is extreme. That's a red flag. California, that's a red flag. If you're confident, if you want us to believe you, California, which we don't, but if you want the world to believe you, which honestly, I think you want to keep things hidden, but if you want the world to believe you, California, let the federal agents look at the voter rolls. Let there be a federal audit of the voter rolls. Nobody trusts California, dude. I mean, there are dumb people who trust California, but I don't trust California.
Why are they not investigating this? Well, California is blocking a federal audit of its voter polls. California allows first-time voters, folks, you ready for this? This is not a joke, to register using forms of ID that most Americans would find surprising, including gym membership card.
No way. So California allows first-time voters to register using forms of ID that most Americans would find surprising, including gym membership cards, employer ID card, credit or debit card, prescription drug label, insurance card. Are you serious? And California provides free health coverage to undocumented immigrants. Dude. California, you expect us to believe you? You expect us to believe you. We don't. We don't. We think you're full of crap is what we think. California government, we think you're full of shit.
I joked about this on Friday, and I said, and
the sad part is it's a reality. That's the worst part. This is a reality. Okay, let's keep going.
Just joking. Well, guess what? I was fact-checked, and I wasn't joking. Apparently, that was true. In California, you can actually vote with your Bally Total Fitness card. Can you imagine? You can go.
No way. I'm coming in with my Planet Fitness card, and I'm ready to vote, dude.
With your LA Fitness card and vote. Employer ID, credit card or debit card, prescription drug label, insurance card.
Hey, we got a XCHO. Joe? What's up, Joe? How you doing, brony? We got Ethan Moore in the house, of course. We got Bob. We love you, Bob.
And if you think this is BS, Rob, go on the link, because I thought he's just BSing. Go on the link. So this is what website, Rob? Can we verify what website this is? sos.california.gov, okay? So go on that first point that says current and valid photo ID, third party. Look at right there. Go a little bit low, Rob. Look at A, driver's license. B, passport, identification card, credit card, military identification card, health club identification card, H.
Stop it.
This is on their website.
That's uncalled for. That is bullshit, dude. That is crazy. That is insane. California's cooked. California is basically they're riding the thin line of third world country territory. Like that's some third world country territory right there, dude. I'm going to check my portfolio real quick just because I'm so sick of this. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, my portfolio is looking hot, dude. My portfolio is looking very sexy. Damn, you're very sexy. I'm gonna say that's not bad. It's going up. Can't deny the things I do. I need some sleep. Small wiener gang. You better leave. Walk over you. Hey, thank you, Not Laws 2 for subscribing. Everybody, if you guys can, do not forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow. Mucho apreciado.
It's, by the way, and I'm sitting there yesterday, I'm like, there's no way this has to be real. So if you go, Rob, right now and ask chat or ask ChatGPT, what are the top 5 slowest states when it comes down to elections, and go to the top 5 fastest states when it comes down to counting ballots? Basic question, okay? And I'm asked this question on Grok, on chat, on pretty much everything I can, because I want to know, chat can lead.
Nobody buys what California is selling at this point. The fact that they're so slow is concerning. It's extremely concerning, and it gives them time. If there are any bad actors, it gives them time to do their bad acting. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
A little bit on the other side.
Of course.
So watch this, okay? Fastest states, Florida. How the hell does Florida do it fast? The goal.
Often considered the gold standard for rapid reporting, processes mail ballots before Election Day. In 2024, most results were available within hours of polls closing. Texas, large state, but reports quickly due to extensive early voting and efficient tabulation. Major improvements after 2020 led to faster reporting, says Georgia. Notice how it's funny. These are virtually red states, I think. I think Virginia's questionably a swing state, but crazy.
Old standard.
Georgia might be a swing
Okay,
state.
Texas. By the way, watch this. This is the other question I ask. Florida, red state. Texas, red.
Hey, what's going on? Tiny Lion Gaming, we love you, bro. We got TLG in the house, everybody. Tiny Lion Gaming, bro. TLG. OMG.
Georgia, red. Virginia, consistently reports a large percentage of votes on election day. Carolina, red. Now go to the slowest states. Look at the slowest. Why do you think it's slow? California, known as the slowest, frequently the slowest major state, accepts ballots arriving.
Frequently the slowest major state, accepts ballots arriving after election day if postmarked on time. Extensive signature verification and provisional ballot review. I don't think they do. Here's the thing about California, though. I don't know if they really, it doesn't seem like they look at the signature verification very well. It just doesn't seem right, dude.
After election day, if
something's not adding up, dude. Something's smelling fishy.
postmark on time, extensive signature verification and provisional ballot review, Arizona, Nevada, Alaska, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I think 4 out of 5 of these states are all left, on the left. Why do you want it to be slower? So when you see the president getting upset with Walker, you're sitting there saying, maybe the guy's got an argument. Matter of fact, let me ask you guys a question. If
you don't want it to be slower, you don't.
If let's just say, Vinny, Tom, Adam, if let's just say a party, forget whatever party it is, Tom, take the Libertarian Party, take the Green Party, Vinny, take the Democratic Party, take the Republican Party, Adam. You go hire the mob, the Italian mafia, and I'm talking old school. You hire them as consultants, and you tell them, hey, what can we do to increase the chances of winning every election we want and not allow the other side to win? What would you advise us to do? What do you think they would say? Okay, imagine you went to the mob, the mafia. Okay, you're asking criminals who do this for a living, what can we do to never lose elections again in our state? What do you think advice they would give you?
The mob?
What would they say is the first thing you got to change? You know what's the first thing I would say? Do whatever you can to not require photo IDs. Check. We did it in California. Number 2, make it as slow as possible so we can count ballots afterwards. Check. Allow mail-in ballots, and as long as possible. Check. As long as you do this, don't worry about it. You'll have it under control. You're serious? Oh, yeah, you can have it under control. And convince Americans that getting photo IDs is racist.
Racist, brilliant.
Yeah. Good Lord, man. California, they might be playing 4D chess when it comes to election you-know-whatting. When it comes to election you-know-whatting, I would say California's king. California king, baby. This is, honestly, it sounds like there's a lot of proof to me that California is not running a fair election. If you can register to vote for your first time in California with nothing more than a gym membership and a debit card, that's insane. That's literally insane. Like, I've never heard of that as valid. That just doesn't sound. It sounds. Hannibal, did you hear a word that PBD said? Did you hear a word about what he said? Of what they allow for voter ID? If you're allowing a debit card as a valid form of ID to register to vote in California, I'm done with California. California is dead to me. All right? California is dead to me. I don't care about... I'm obviously going to cover California on this show, but after I'm done, I'm not thinking about California. We need to boycott California. At this point, we need to boycott Cali.
That's the
Convince them it's racist.
Got it.
Yeah.
And convince them it takes very slow.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
Yeah.
Why you're racist against blacks. You're racist against... And blacks are like, no, what are you talking about? I can get an ID. No, but it's racist because these people don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they don't like you.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to do this. So then you look at charts.
Well, and this is what I hate about liberals. The modern liberals talk down to black people. Modern liberals talk down to minorities. They think they have to dumb everything down. They basically don't. For instance, when I see somebody of a different race or ethnicity than me, I don't automatically assume that they don't understand. You know, I assume that they're on the same level that I am. And if they prove that they're not, then I'll say things in a different way. What was that? Oh, that was my coffee maker.
69% of Democrats, you know what they want? 69% of Democrats want photo IDs for election. You know what the numbers for Republicans? 95, 96%.
Yeah. Because Republicans know in order to have a free and fair election, you should have some form of voter ID. Period. End of story. And what's happening in California is proof positive that we need valid forms of ID to vote.
83% of Americans want a flippin' ID to vote. And then you want the American people to sit there and believe?
By the way, if you believe that anything happening in California is smart, you're an uneducated person. You don't understand anything. If this passes the smell test to you, if what is happening in California is passing the smell test to you, you're an uneducated person, in my opinion.
That if you accept a gym membership, no one's cheating. No wonder the president got upset at Welker. Now, should he have called her stupid or whatever? That's Trump style. He's always been like that. That's
Trump's the man for doing that, by the way. I think sometimes you got to call people stupid. Sometimes you have to. And the interviewer was being pretty dumb, in my opinion. So, yeah, he had every right to call her stupid. And the whole network of NBC stupid.
It's a conversation that you can have. But no wonder he can sit there and watch in a state. By the way, as much as I take shots at people in California, you know I do, my Armenian, Assyrian, and Persian friends. They message me, hey, you're not being fair, you're not doing this. You know what, if you haven't worked with me long-term, face-to-face, like in a company, you don't know my style. You only know me from the podcast and the relationships that we have. You don't know how I challenge, you don't know how I drive. You haven't been with me behind closed doors. Some people have witnessed how I do and what I do there. You don't think I want to see California flip? You don't think I want to see a mayor flip? You know how bad I feel for my friends in LA right now? You know how bad I feel for my friends in California right now? You know how annoyed these people are? These are good people that have said, I'm not leaving. And then you do something like this. And you want something to change with this? By the way, do you remember that one interview where Newsom's like, oh, we're not worried about the elections? And he had that smile? This was like 3 weeks ago.
I've sent Rob the clip. You want to?
Yeah, because he has a emergency safe glass or whatever, a break here in case anything happens. Yeah, I don't trust Gavin Newsom, dude. I do not trust Gavin Newsom. Period. End of story. But yeah, I don't trust what's happening in Cali, dude. I just don't, dude. I don't think anybody should, dude. Why should we be told to believe anything that's happening in Cali? Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow, but we're just sick and tired of California.
See how, and Mike, that's why he's been so quiet.
No?
Breaking
the glass.
Oh, this is Pat.
Yeah,
look,
exactly.
This is the attitude of exactly. Go ahead.
We all have agencies. We can shape the future. There's still a lot of, look, I've said this before, so I'll repeat it. I don't anticipate this need to be the case, but there is a break the glass scenario. And
that alone, that verbiage right there, a break the glass scenario, what does that mean? Can you elaborate, please? Does it mean, oh, we got the you know what in? We got the you know what in. The break the glass scenario, really? I don't trust you, Gavin.
There's many people that have a deep understanding of what it would look like if Democrats were locked out, and we're going to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen.
Look, but
they're going to do everything. Dude, that is some pretty cryptic-ass verbiage. And to be honest, it makes me, first off, I already don't trust Gavin Newsom. Period, end of story. I don't trust Gavin Newsom. I already don't trust California, okay? I don't trust what's happening, all right? But yeah, I don't trust what's happening in Cali. I don't think most people should, to be honest. I don't think anybody should.
You're just saying the quiet part out loud.
And Adam,
we're going to do everything possible.
And nobody could do
to make
anything.
sure.
Agencies can shape.
Do something about it.
Agencies could shape the future.
Yeah,
and I'm tired of hearing, Pat, democracy. We're not a democracy, but we're
a constitutional representative republic.
We have lost the republic. If this is how it happens in front of our face, we can't do nothing about it. The government can't do nothing about it. And that's the
break the glass scenario. Like, really think about those words.
Front runner. That's the front runner of the Democratic Party. And if they win, Pat, and they come back and I'm not stupid. I know the pen.
Okay, well, how about this, Hannibal? What if Texas and Florida took 5 days after Election Day to count ballots? How would you feel about that? How would you feel about that? I trust Texas and Florida because they have an efficient system that doesn't take 5 to 7 fucking days after Election Day. I trust them far more than I would Cali. So you tell me. You tell me. Should we trust this? 5 to 7 days? I mean, I understand why people are questioning this on a massive scale. The news is questioning it. I wouldn't say the news is questioning it. The mainstream media, for the most part, is not questioning it. They're just accepting it like good little children. But the rest of the internet is questioning this very, very hard. And I think, what's up, my man? We got Lou the chicken dude. What's up, dude? We got Lou the chicken dude in the house. Hell yeah, dude. Make sure you guys subscribe to Lou. Total stud, by the way. Bob is asking, have you heard of the cramped box apartments? They're
Laugh out loud.
packed like sardines in a literal coffin-sized apartment. Dude, that sounds awful, dude. Hey, Lou, thank you for the 100. Everybody give Lou a shout-out for the 100, man. I appreciate it, man.
Pendulum swings. You let them empower. The SAVE Act didn't go through because they have 4 rhino, I'm not going to say the word, Republicans that they want to have power. And again, if I keep hearing this word democracy, it's our republic. And at what?
Yeah, we should be calling it a republic. We're not a democracy. We're a republic. And that's the truth. I'm sick and tired of these low IQ people saying, we got to protect our democracy. No, we got to protect our republic. We're not a freaking democracy, dude. A republic is far different than a democracy. Because if we were a full-on democracy, every single law at the federal level would have a nationwide vote for everybody voting on it. We have representatives instead to vote on particular issues and write-in issues, okay? And write-in regulation. It's insanity to me.
What point are Americans, the citizens, the 99.999% are going to finally say, Pat, enough is enough? And I'm not saying we're complaining. No,
I'm complaining. I'm pissed. I'm complaining. I'm going full Karen right now. I'm complaining, bro. Vinny, I'm not a big fan of you, Vinny, but look, I'm complaining. I am legit. I don't like to complain. I try to avoid it, but I'm complaining. What's happening in California needs to be investigated to the fullest scale. What is happening in Cali needs to be fully investigated through and through. The federal government needs to look at the voter rolls. We need to see what the frick is happening.
Oh, we're trying to point out the obvious. They're cheating. You are cheating. In India, they have how many? 1 point some billion people. They know in one day. What the hell? We're America. And
yeah, they know in a day. That's crazy.
it takes weeks, and we're cool with it, and nobody on the other side is saying, Pat, because their side's gonna win. They're quiet. They're quiet, and that's why Gavin Newsom's quiet, because they know that they're freaking cheaters.
Tom.
All you have to do is go, absolutely. And you know, there's 2 lines of thinking that are being driven on here. Vote.
No, I'm glad the federal government's investigating it, as they should, by the way. By the way, Hannibal, the investigating needs to happen, brother. Federal government needs to investigate this through and through. You can't look me in the eye and say, oh, everything's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. What is happening in California is not okay. All right? What is happening in California is not, and I repeat, it is not okay. I think deep down you know that.
Voter eligibility and voter confirmation, racism, right?
Yeah, you're racist.
And then what you have is controls, to have adequate controls over the election and investigations and just confirmations.
Okay, good. You actually agree to investigate. That's actually a good shine. You really think they won't find anything? Really? So you're saying that Nithya Raman went from 21% to 27 point whatever percent to get the lead over Pratt? You really think that Nithya Raman was that popular? I don't think so. I don't think so. Pratt did a pretty good job, man. I'm going to say no matter what the result, Pratt actually did a good job. Pratt ran a flawless campaign. And to honestly do this good in Los Angeles as somebody who's pretty right-leaning, not bad. And honestly, for the governor's race of California, Hilton is doing a hell of a job. Steve Hilton's the man, dude. Stud.
That's federal interference.
Laugh out loud.
You see, racism and federal interference.
Oh, we got Terrence B sending a gift. Thank you, Terrence B. I love you, brother. Thank you so much. Mucho apreciado. Everybody give a
Laugh
shout out
out
to
loud.
Terrence, everybody. Thank you so much for sending the 100 for 2 jewels. Thank you for sending the sparkles. Thank you for sending the star. If you guys want your name heard, send us a gift, man. Gifts get instant
Laugh out
recognition
loud.
on the screen, dude. Anytime you guys want instant recognition, instant love, if you want to interrupt the stream, honestly, sending a gift helps out a lot. So if you guys want to interrupt the direction of the stream, sending gifts helps, and I love it. Thank you, Terrence B. I appreciate it. Keep sending gifts if you want, man. It's up to you guys. You guys can send gifts. Anybody can send gifts. So tap the gift button, send a gift, get instant live recognition. You guys deserve it. You guys have earned it.
Parents are destroying democracy. Maxine Waters said it. Just like that. So guess what? This is what it is. You have to remember something here, guys. It's low tech. When you increase technology, you increase the confirmations and you can increase the confidence. Now, technology isn't a voter tabulation machine that can be hacked and flip votes. We've seen examples of the voting machines. You've seen this, Benny, over the years where they've said, this is an example how this particular machine was flipped. No, the deeper you go in technology. Congress heard a presentation. This is a select committee, heard a presentation on the blockchain, Pat. Hey, did you know you could just take every person who's a valid citizen, put them on the blockchain, you'd know instantly did they vote or not. Not who they voted for, but did they vote or not.
Yeah.
Everybody flipped out at that. Why? Because that's high technology, high confidence, high control.
I don't believe in the blockchain. I really don't. I really don't believe in the blockchain. I think it's okay, but E.T. says Garza want your money. I mean, a little bit. Is there anything wrong with that? I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for pennies, man. Some people asking for whole dollars. All right, I'm asking for sparkles, baby. I'm asking for sparkles. I'm asking for 100s.
That's not what they want. You look at these blue states, just keep counting until you get the answer you want. And it's destroying public confidence. And you're going to see, I think you're going to accelerate the people that are leaving. I talked to people last night in LA too. I asked them, what are you thinking about this? And they said, I'm shocked. Everybody has said the same thing. They said, I'm really shocked. In plain sight, doing what you just said, doing the quiet part out loud.
Exactly.
And it was terrible, Pat. Terrible. But remember, low tech enables it. When you go to ultimate high tech and blockchain, you control it.
I think that blockchain is stupid. I really do. I think blockchain's ridiculous. Well, I can't do that. You're gonna be the lonely one, no. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no.
But nobody wants control. Everybody wants buckets of ballots that came here coming into what appears to be orderly rooms to be counted, that we are ensuring democracy. No, they're not. They are controlling the outcome of what they call democracy.
And Pat, now that we know what we're waiting for, Tom, the Supreme Court's ruling in Watson versus the Republican National Committee. It's a major case that could determine whether the states can continue counting mail-in ballots that arrive after Election Day if they were postmarked on time. And the ruling is...
That'll be huge, because if the ruling is that they can't, California is going to have a very hard time doing you-know-what to elections.
Expected at the end of this month, Pat. What's going to have
Vinny, that will only control the date and time that they bring in the white buckets.
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court will help. We need control, and it starts with voter validation and then technology that validates that those voters that were validated actually voted once.
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't know if you saw this article, what Gavin Newsom has done in response to the allegations. Basically, Gavin Newsom has basically signed a law that, quote unquote, here we go. Newsom signs law to shield California elections from federal interference.
Oh, there's that.
Wow. Federal interference. So wait. So if they investigate, that's interference? What are we interfering with, Gavin? I know what we're interfering with. We're interfering with your you-know-what. We know what you're doing, dude. We know what you're doing.
Basically saying we prohibit any person, including federal agents, from accessing voter rolls or election technology without a court order. But then in response, here's this article. This is from The Hill. Federal prosecutors opened fraud probes into California voting. So alleged voter fraud, multiple election fraud investigations underway. Essentially what you said, there's serious structural vulnerabilities, specifically coming from two major components.
Yep. Get it, dude. Get it. No, I didn't, dude. E.T., I didn't do that, dude. I didn't do that, bro. Tiny Lion Gaming, we love you, bro. But yeah, no, what's happening in California is despicable. What is happening in California is not right. I don't trust it. I'm not buying it. I don't think most people are buying what's happening in California. People are questioning it all across the nation.
Mail-in voting and not requiring voter ID at the polls.
And by the way,
verify that only eligible U.S. citizens are registered.
On the Newsom thing, he signed that on May 29th, 4 days before the election.
I think, well, here's the thing. I don't think Pratt lost. It's not over yet, by the way. And also, there is a federal investigation right now. They're going to be looking, the federal government's going to be looking at the California voter rolls. I think they're going to be shocked, and I think what's going to be revealed is going to shock the world. I am very happy that the federal government's looking into this. The federal government absolutely needs to look into this. 100%. I think we all know this. It should not take 6 days or 5 days or however many days it's been after the election to figure out who the winner is. I don't think Pratt's done.
4 days before, here's a video where he explains why he wants.
Once the federal government reveals what's really going on in California, I think we're going to see who the real winner is soon enough.
Wants to go ahead and pass it so that the federal government cannot interfere, is what he calls, in California's election.
Go ahead, plus watch the play.
Trump all the time. He's an invasive species. We've never been up against something like this. And he's just not, he's just winding up. I mean, he doesn't believe in fair and free elections. He believes in competitive authoritarianism.
No, you believe in authoritarianism, Gavin. You're such a despicable human being, Gavin. You are a despicable human being, Gavin Newsom. The world's watching. The world is watching you. Tiny Lion Gaming says delicious human soda. It is pretty good, man. It is pretty tasty. But the world is watching you, Gavin Newsom. The world is watching. And it is. We're watching you. And I can't wait to see what this federal investigation unfolds, because I think the leftists are going to be very, very, very surprised at how much of a you-know-what this whole California election process has been.
He wants an outcome along the lines of Putin. 87.3.
Oh, my God. Gavin Newsom is such a freaking liar. Dude, Gavin Newsom, I love how he calls Trump a liar, but in all reality, Newsom's projecting. Newsom, I firmly believe, in my opinion, allegedly is a pathological liar.
Percent to 4.3.
He reminds me of Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
That's a fair and free election from Trump's perspective. And he's become so delusional that I think he's almost started.
Delusional? I think you're delusional. Gavin Newsom is delusional. Are you kidding me? Gavin Newsom's shaking in his boots right now because he knows that if a federal probe actually happens into these California elections, they're going to find out more than they bargained for, and they're going to reveal the rot that is happening in the California government overall. That's what I think.
Starting to believe.
That's what I know.
In his own BS.
Well, I think the people of California have somehow believed his BS for the last decade. And,
I mean, Newsom's full of crap, dude. Newsom is full of crap. How is Newsom right, Hannibal? Dude, Hannibal, you glaze Newsom's meat just as much as I glaze Trump's, dude.
He used, let's just be clear here. He used a very specific number. He said 87% Trump wants that.
4.3. Yeah.
Listen, Trump's best day is in the high 40s. Best day from a national electorate. And worst day is somewhere in the mid 30s. Gavin Newsom, who basically somehow passed a recall, I think 4 or 5 years ago, this is all
Larry Elder.
Exactly, Larry Elder. You know who I feel bad for? Can I be honest with you?
Tell me.
Because I'm very much pro-Florida, pro-Miami. I genuinely feel bad for the average Californian, and I'll tell you why. Because the top of the food chain, they can move someplace. If they're evading the wealth tax, they'll go find another place to live.
Exactly. A lot of rich people are able to get out of California because the wealth tax is unethical. I think a wealth tax is extremely unethical. I think a lot of people are moving out of California because they realize just how rotten California is at the core, right? They realize just how rotten it is. E.T. says, you glaze Newsom more than I glaze Garza. E.T., I love it when you glaze me, bro. It's so hot. It's so cute. It's so cute. No, I appreciate you, ET. I love you, ET. I think I glaze ET just as much as I glaze Trump, though. So I'm glazing a lot of meat right now. All right, I'm glazing lots and lots of meat. All right.
But the bottom of the food chain, the 50% of Californians are basically who are living on the social welfare state, don't have a choice here, are going to vote for the socialist communists. They're going to be fine because they're basically living high off the hog. It's the average Californian.
Well, what's going to happen is California is going to be broke because the rich people who are paying the taxes for the poor people to exist in California, those rich people are going to be moving away. They're going also to be taking their businesses out of California too. So basically there's going to be no taxes from the rich. And good. I think California, based on all the corruption, I think California deserves to go broke. I think the state of California deserves this. They think that they could solve problems by overtaxing rich people. And that is some communist bullshit. It doesn't work. Overtaxing rich people just makes them resentful. And you know what they do? They have the ability to get the fuck out of there. Nobody wants to live in California, okay? It's California, okay? Nobody likes California's government. California is a beautiful place, but their government is rotten to the core, in my opinion. We're tired of communism. Communism died a long time ago. At least it should have. Instead, all these stupid college professors are promoting it as the way forward, when honestly it's the most backward philosophy you'll ever have in the world, all right? Yeah, well, guess what? California is going to have less Fortune 500 companies headquartered there. You want to know why? Because of the wealth tax. They realize it's more cost effective to move to Texas or Florida than it is to have their headquarters in fucking California. Because California is ridiculous with their stupid taxation laws. Hannibal, you're a moron, dude. Hannibal's stupid as hell.
Who's look like, I can't move because I'm damned if I do, if I damned if I don't. And they basically are, at some point, they're going to have to say, all right, we've hit rock bottom. We're going to have to pivot. Until then, get used to
trickle-down economics is absolutely working. Are you kidding? The government's been interfering in the process for years. One of the reasons why trickle-down economics can't work is if the government interferes in the process. The government has interfered in the process tenfold. Trickle-down economics is not a bad thing. If you think that socialism is better than actual capitalism, then you're a moron. Then you have not read history. Taxing the rich doesn't solve any problems. You can't tax away a problem. How about this? We get rid of the corrupt politicians who keep mismanaging the tax money that we send them. That's what we need to do. Taxing the rich doesn't solve any problems. Rich people don't want to give their money to the government because they know it's going to get laundered. That's why rich people don't give money to, they don't want to give money to the government, but they have to. Unfortunately. Dude, trickle-down economics absolutely works. It absolutely does. The only reason it can't work is because governments interfered in the process for years. What we have is not true free market capitalism. What we have in America is sadly kind of a weird, crooked version of it. If we had free market capitalism, things would be a lot better. But we haven't had free market capitalism for a long time.
Democratic monopolies.
But Adam, I know you want to move on.
They almost had a candidate to be on the ballot, and the candidate, I believe, my opinion, we are watching it get taken away from them. There was, don't you see? I think there was a lot of Angelenos that were out there that got behind this campaign, that got behind these things. And by the way, for Rom,
I'm just ignoring you, Hannibal, because you're a low IQ individual. Hannibal's a low IQ individual. I'm not responding to him. I'm not responding to low IQ people.
Pat, I got a question for you. What did Rahman do in the last week of the election? She backed off.
She did a concession speech. She was crying on
Rob,
stage.
can you play that?
But she
Tom's asking a
backed off.
very good question here.
How does she surge when she's backing off?
Watch the video. Rob, play the video. Go ahead, Rob. Look at this motivational speech.
Yeah, nobody believed that Rahman could win. She was so far down. She was incredibly far down. It makes zero sense.
This is like...
She basically conceded. All right? She essentially conceded. And you're telling me to believe that a ton of voters decided to last second vote for her? I'm not buying it, dude. I'm not buying it. We do not buy it. California, you are selling us snake oil, and we are not accepting it. We do not accept payments in snake oil. Sorry, we're not doing it. I'm looking at my dividend portfolio real quick. It makes me feel better. My dividends. Dividends. Yeah, I'm one of those dividend fanatics. I love dividends. Oh shit, hold on. Oh, I'm getting early dividends. What? All right. It's only like blue chip companies. I got it. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Let's keep going.
You know
she lost. Okay?
Los Angeles is the most
how embarrassing
magical
this
city
is.
in the entire world.
This was like a concession
Win
speech.
or
Yes,
lose.
this is the night she
I am
lost.
so
Rob, can you
proud
verify if this
to
is
be
the
an
night she
Angelino,
lost?
and I'm so grateful to call this extraordinary city my home.
Yeah. Okay, so she
knew she lost. And now you're expecting us to believe that suddenly she surged in the polls? Really? I'm not buying it, dude. I'm not buying it. Not buying it.
Allegedly, let me just verify.
I don't
this
think
real
that's an
quick.
act. I think she really believed that, and I think the machine wants Bass back and used her to get rid of Pratt.
That's election night.
What are
That
the
is
odds
election night.
actually
So-
saying about Pratt's
Well, we'll go to
chances at this
Kalshi.
point?
No,
mind?
Pratt's chances on Kalshi,
Have they plummeted?
Oh, you'll
What
see
do you
right
mean?
now.
Look-
1.2%
Oh!
of advancing.
Look at that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought it was still a 300.
No. Rob, do me a favor. Go
Adam,
back.
look at the-
So he's
go back.
finished.
How far back
Look
can
at
you
the
go
pot,
on this,
Adam.
dates-wise? Can you go back to 1 month?
78 million.
Go to 1 month. Just watch this.
Look
at Pratt advancing.
People are still upset, man. People are pissed. We're pissed. We are extremely, extremely pissed. This doesn't seem right, dude. This doesn't seem right. Something about this seems severely off. Severely.
Advancing. Okay? Look at Pratt advancing.
And then look.
And then right after June 2nd, which was the day to vote, he's still ahead. And then he drops
And look at that.
all the way down,
then-
and Rahman comes up.
And well, even
It's
Bass.
interesting that even people on Kalshi realized that what was going to happen in California. They knew that the you-know-what was in. They knew that the you-know-what was in Cali. Is Trump going to Madison Square Garden tonight? Trump MSG? Trump daddy, dude.
Last one a little bit lower. So you're saying that everyone who voted in that last 48-hour window, everyone voted for the communists.
Are you ready for
Yes.
this, Pat? So not the beat
Yes.
posted.
Unbelievable.
One of the best statements I saw.
$78 million was placed.
Only Rahman's
That's
mail-in
70
ballots were late, Adam. Only Rahman's mail-in
Yeah.
ballots
So
were late.
when statistically impossible things happen, we should not be expected as a society to accept them.
Yeah, this should be investigated, seriously. This really should be investigated. And to anybody just saying shut up and accept it, I'm not going to shut up and accept it. Donald Trump isn't shutting up and accepting it. He's actually being very vocal about it. And good for him. He should be vocal about it. We all should be vocal about it.
Laugh out loud.
Hey, Zenisly, thank you for the makeup brush. Mucho apreciado. Everybody give a shout out to Zenisly for sending a makeup brush. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, Zenisly. Zenisly. Thank you so much for the makeup brush, my brony bro. I appreciate you. You know what? I think this is the first time I've ever seen your name on the show. Everyone, give a warm welcome to. Thank you so much, Zenisly. I appreciate the makeup brush.
Laugh out
happy
loud.
poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. That's my favorite gift. Dude, happy poop is my favorite gift. Zenisly. No, seriously. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. I love the dude. I'm all about the happy poops, dude. Happy poop is my favorite gift. Straight up, it is the gift of all gifts.
Laugh out loud.
Hey, Crypto Recall send a happy poop too. Crypto Cool Recall. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Thank you so much for the happy poops, though. I appreciate it, man. If anybody wants to send me happy poops, by the way, I will always welcome it with arms wide open under the sunlight. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything. Give me 1 second here. Once again, well, I feel better, and I pull myself together. I remember those 2 letters. It'll be okay. Oh, man. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everybody. You guys were amazing. I want to come home to the only place I know where the trees I planted grow. I wanna come home. Once again, well, I feel better, and I pull myself together. I remember those 2 letters. It'll be okay. Everyone says now or never. Give me 1 moment, folks. I gotta test something here. Okay, we got our next goal in.
Evidence of fraud isn't limited to video surveillance. Statistical impossibilities are hard evidence of fraud. That was not to be posted it, and Elon posted it, Pat. And this is, when we talk about the left, right, or whatever, they're willing to lie and cheat to come into power. That's why I'm saying, Pat, this is a spiritual thing. We're at spiritual warfare. Because once they come in, Pat, what do? They open the border, they bring in illegals, our women and children get freaking...
Yeah. I see where Vinny's coming from on this.
Take advantage, murdered, or raped, and then they make policies for trans, this and that. It's freaking evil. And what's a fine time? You're talking about these Angelinos. What can they do? What can you do? What? Go on the streets?
So we believe this is an election. They believe this is a revolution. And during a revolution, anything is permissible. And that's what you're seeing it here.
And that's the problem. Democrats have a very simple morality, and that morality is rules for thee, not for me. I would say that if there was one, I'm serious, I believe that quote right there firmly defines what the Democrats do. Rules for thee, not for me. The Democrats, I don't like their collectivist nature. I don't like the fact that they'll do anything for communism. They'll do anything to make communism happen, even though communism is one of the shittiest ideas in the world. It just blows my mind. It blows my bloody freaking mind. Sorry. Not sorry. Yeah.
Here. You know, we believe that they're wrong and that we need to sit down and find a way to reason with the ones that are close to the middle and to bring them over. That's the spirit of this podcast. That's why you saw Pat on Jubilee. That's why all this stuff. They believe we're evil and any tactic is permissible to stop.
PBD, you're a California guy. What are you hearing from your people? Because at the end of the day, there's going to be a socialist versus a communist, it seems, in this runoff. What are people in California saying?
So there are guys that are planning on moving to Florida, and they've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, for instance, I'll give you an idea. My own family.
Yeah.
A lot of Iranians, Armenians, Assyrians left Iran a long time ago. When did your parents leave Iran?
Oh, my God.
What year? Because you were born in New York.
I was born in New York.
So how much
78.
previous to that? When did your parents leave?
In the 70s.
Can you text your? Well, it's too early.
No, she'll be up.
What year you think I think your parents left probably in the 70s.
Pre-revolution.
Say 70, early 70s.
Okay. So you have to realize there's different tiers of people that left Iran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
There are those like his parents who left early. Okay. Then there are those that left in 77, 78. The moment revolution started happening, they're like, we're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was your dad.
No, not at all. No, they didn't. My mom was like, it's going to get better. So my mom encouraged them to stay. My dad is saying, let's get the hell out of here. My mom said, no, let's stay. It's going to get better. Anyways, they stay. And then by 89, when Khomeini died and things got chaotic, we left. By the way, we are known as leaving the latest. We left late because they thought something good was going to happen, right? And then we left. And we went to Germany, and then we ended up coming here. Okay, you've heard the story a million times, so I'm not repeating that story. What does that have to do with California? There are people in California that don't want to leave. I had a call the other day, one of our clients. He sold one of his companies few years ago for $300 million, and he's about to sell a second company in Australia for $250 to $500 million. He's about to go public, money guy, good guy, sharp guy, family guy. And Australia just announced the capital gains tax, which I don't know if you're familiar with it. Our capital gains here is what, 23.9, something like that?
20%, I believe.
But it's including the Obamacare, I think it's like 23.9 is what you're looking at.
That's correct.
And in Canada, they announced
capital gains tax sucks, dude. I'm not a fan of capital gains tax at all. Pisses me off, but you know what? What can I do about it? I still have to pay it. Pisses me off to the core, though. To hell with capital gains tax, man.
something that your capital gains could go all the way up to 47%. Rob, can you type in 47%?
Higher than ordinary income?
47%, I want to say. There was something that came out that was 40. Australia, if you look up what their capital gains, a potential rate of 47%. Okay. So anyways, he's bringing this up to me that this is taking place. I said, what do you want to do? Do you want to fix it? Or do you want to go to, Singapore? Do you want to go to Dubai where you don't have to pay taxes? He says, no, I want to fix it. I said, so you don't want to leave Australia? No. So you want to contribute? Yes. So what's the plan? I said, so how famous are you? Not that famous. I'm famous amongst business people because I've made money, but I'm not that famous. I said, well, number one, without the fame, you ain't, it's not something you're going to be able to do. We got to work on the fame.
It ain't the same.
He says, well, what about if I first start off with Victoria, the state, which Victoria is kind of like California, and then from there go for national level, which is prime minister. I put him in working on putting him in contact with the previous deputy prime minister for them to have a conversation together. But what's the point? There are a lot of people in California and Angelenos that have been waiting and waiting and waiting. You know what tiers it's going to be? Those who move to a Republican county.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pick a Republican. They're going to go hide in Manhattan Beach. They're going to go hide in Newport Beach. They're going to go hide in,
Orange County.
Kern County, like Bakersfield. They're going to go to weird places like this, right? Shout out to...
Move out of L.A.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Then there are those that are going to do the easy thing, second easy thing, which is what? Go to Nevada. And they're going to do the 185, 175, which is live 185 days in Nevada to avoid having to pay the tax of California.
Wealthy people can do that, right?
The wealthy people can do that. The average person cannot do that. Then it's the people that are just going to be like, I'm moving out, and I'm going to go to Texas.
You should move out. If you live in California, I don't think you should live there. I think it's a bad place to live. It's a beautiful place to visit. I like to visit California. But California is crumbling right before our eyes. California is crumbling right before our eyes. And I think people are aware of this. I'd like to believe that people are aware of this. People see it happening, man. California is crumbling. And I don't know what can stop it. It's crumbling. That's fine. Hey, hey, you know what? I hope all the liberals move to California. I hope all the libs move to California.
Texas, or I'm going to Florida.
Yeah. So that way they could vote in stupid policies that'll ruin the state even further.
Or I'm going to Tennessee. Or I'm going to go stay in Henderson, Nevada.
Leftist policies are just dumb, dude. They're low IQ. I just think a lot of leftist policies are ridiculous.
Those are the three tiers. So if this could, by the way, where's...
Give me a moment. I'm gonna eat some food in front of you guys because I'm fat. All right, let's keep going.
Where's Hilton at right now, Rob? Can you look up Hilton's? Go to Hilton's Calshi.
I think he just got passed by Xavier Becerra.
Steyer passed him up?
No,
I don't know. Becerra's got confirmed. He's in. Yeah. Like, he for sure is first place. But Hilton is still 9.6%, which is fine because as long as he's second place, that's all you care about.
And we should have a moment of silence for this guy, Tom Steyer. He just keeps pumping
$200 million
of dollars
$100 million
to get elected, and the world is
he's
like,
in the Bloomberg camp. You know who else did that? Meg Whitman also did that many years ago. She ran as a Republican, I think former CEO of eBay, and she went through different things. Father's Day's around the corner, and there's one statistic, guys. You know.
I hate half the crap that Pat Bet David peddles.
Know this, fathers, ladies, if you're watching this, we spend a lot.
I'm so sick of you, Pat Bet David.
More money on Mother's Day than we do on Father's Day. We would like to contribute and get our great fathers out there to feel special. And to do so, we did something very special for fathers. Today's the day to do it. And this item you're about to see is going to be limited to only 500, the first 500 that placed the order. You'll be able to make other Father's Days. So having said that, watch this video dedicated to Father's Day. Go ahead, Rob. Folks, I don't know if you know or not, but every year we spend $10 billion more on Mother's Day than Father's Day. We don't get things for fathers. We forget about it. It's just a father. This year we're doing something special. We got a box for all great fathers in the world that says the future looks bright. And here it says father, protector, provider. In the box, when that father, that special father, opens it up, he will get a mug that says future looks bright with father, protector, provider.
God damn it. I appreciate the optimism. The future looks bright, but can't you just make that part of your logo and just call it good?
Get a Future Looks Bright hat. They will also get a Future Looks Bright RFID wallet. On top of that, a pen that says Father, Protector, Provider. And you get to pick and choose 4 shirts for that incredible Watch this, father. folks. One of them is the best dad ever, with Future Looks Bright on the back. The other one will say Father, Protector, Provider. The third one is Raising
sick of
Leaders,
these AI
Building
models.
Legacy. I love every single one of them. But the
AI model.
last one's going to be so
I'm starting to wonder if PBD's not AI.
special. You ready for this? It says Grandpa knows everything. So if you
Get that
got
for Papa
Grandpa,
G.
send it to him. Let him open. He's going to be excited. We only have 500 of these boxes. If you want to get one of these for a special father, go to vtmerch.com. Place the order before it sells out. Having said that, happy Father's Day, everybody. Okay, so check this out, folks. Rob, let's walk through it so people know how to do it.
Okay, I'm done with this. Good job. Well, let's take a look.
Now we're continuing to follow the LA mayor's race. The registrar reported reports more than
This is crazy, man. This is crazy.
120,000 additional ballots have been counted since the last update, with roughly 368,000 still remaining. Nithya Raman has taken a small lead over Republican Spencer Pratt for second place.
And take a look at the updated ballot count for the California governor's race. Javier Becerra has clinched a spot in the November runoff. Steve Hilton is still in second place with 25.9% of the vote. Tom Steyer coming in at third place there with 21%.
And the shakeup in the LA mayoral race is drawing attention across the country. But what are voters here in Los Angeles saying?
Now let's go to Brooke right now. She's been talking to voters on UCLA's campus there this morning, getting some reaction in Westwood. Brooke?
Hey there, yeah, good morning. We are here on UCLA's campus. Been talking to, believe it or not, talking to a lot of parents. A lot of people telling me that they just don't feel informed enough, that they didn't participate in the process this year, they didn't vote. But a lot of people saying they did vote, and overwhelmingly, so many people are frustrated with the process, how long this is taking. Matter of fact, I talked to, he's actually from Chicago. His daughter goes to school here, but he's like, I want you to know, I'm very interested in this. His child lives here, he's interested, and he feels like there's no excuse that it's set up to take this long here in Los Angeles.
It shouldn't take this long. The fact that it's taking this long is very sus. A lot of people. I'm eating shredded chicken and Campbell's sirloin burger soup. I combined shredded chicken that I had cooked previously and put it in the soup.
Results.
I think that we have such an antiquated voting system in this country. It's not even fair to call it embarrassing. It's just completely
Criminal would be a good word.
broken and wrong. We have the technology. We're in California, of all places. We're talking about sending people to Mars, but we can't figure out how to solve the voting.
Yeah, Florida does it pretty damn well.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I like that it is raising the awareness that everyone needs to be, probably everyone needs to be politically involved across the entire spectrum. I think that's a healthy and good thing, and that everyone should be participating in democracy, or else it starts to break down.
We're not a democracy. If you start thinking it's a democracy, that's a breakdown in itself. We're a constitutional representative republic. We are not a democracy. Stop calling it a democracy, you moron.
It was interesting because he kind of felt like, the more people complain.
So angry, dude. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional representative republic. Got it? Get it.
About how long it takes for every ballot to be counted in Los Angeles. More people, it draws attention to the process, draws attention to the election, and more people feel like, they should get involved the next time around. So, we'll see come November. I'll send things back to you all in the studio. It's been an interesting morning, I'll say that.
Yep, and we'll continue to follow as things develop. You know, none of this, thank you so much, Brooke, is surprising to Mike Bonin, the former LA Council member and Pat Brown Institute for Public Affairs Executive Director, saying that Nithya Raman taking the lead over Spencer Pratt follows a trend in LA elections. Namely, conservatives vote early and liberals or progressives vote late.
That's not true. That is not true. If anything, most liberals and progressives, from what I've been able to see, usually try to get it out of the way ASAP.
I wasn't sure that Pratt wouldn't have some more appeal to independent voters who might have been holding on to their ballots. I was sort of wrong on that suspicion. The trend broke as it has in the last few cycles.
A lot of independents wanted Pratt. A lot of independents wanted Pratt. Are you kidding me?
So unsurprising, I guess, to most people who pay attention to the dynamics.
How much ground does Spencer Pratt have to cover now if he wants to make it to the general election?
Well, I think in today's update, I think it's still from that last batch of later voters. I think Raman will continue to gain. I don't think that means all of the remaining votes are going to skew progressive, because once they finish counting the late votes, they go back, the Dean Logan and the registrar, and they count the provisional ballots, people who filled something out, and it might not have matched their registration, so they match those up. There's also a process called ballot curing that a lot of campaigns do, that if somebody sent in their vote but didn't sign it, you have a couple days.
They have to go back. That's
you have a couple days for them to go back and sign it. So,
and when it's this close, when the numbers are this close, that literally, I mean, you're talking about that matters. Yeah.
Both the Pratt and the Raman.
I feel like something's not adding up here, man. Something is not adding up, dude. Just ain't adding
Campaigns, I'm sure, are going to be doing as much ballot curing as they can, because, I mean, if Raman stays in second place and is in the runoff, it's not going to be by 4 or 5 points, right? It's going to be, 1 or 2 points.
And Paul Mitchell with the bipartisan voter data firm Political Data Inc. joined Fox 11 last night to analyze the mayoral race as well. And he says a lot of the ballots being counted now are from younger and more progressive voters who we're waiting on the governor's race before deciding the LA mayoral's race.
We have a very effective system at making sure all these ballots are processed. What we don't have is a fast system. And it seems as though voters actually appreciate this. Voters know when they're dropping their ballot off on election day and it's just a signed ballot in an envelope, they know that ballot's going to be counted in the coming days. They don't expect that to be done by 8 p.m. that night, so results come out right away. It is the most transparent process in the country. And it's just a matter of making sure that all these ballots that were turned in, particularly those on election day, signed ballots, that they all get their signatures verified against the driver's license or their registration cards. They make sure that anybody who's moved or re-registered hasn't voted somewhere else, like another part of the county or another county in California. And they're just doing all this to make sure that there's security in our system.
During an appearance on Meet the Press over the weekend, President Trump called the election count rigged, but did not provide any evidence of that.
I'm sorry, but it's called pattern recognition. Noticing a pattern, a concerning pattern, I think is enough evidence to warrant wanting an investigation. There's nothing wrong with warranting an investigation here. And besides, you guys got nothing to hide, right? California's got nothing to hide. They should be welcoming an investigation. Let the federal government look at the voter rolls. Show how valid your elections really are. You guys act like you're the pinnacle of elections anyway, so how about you just show everybody? Show the federal government your voter rolls. Do it. You know you don't want to. You want to know why you don't want to? because you got something to hide. Allegedly.
And this morning, we're asking who should face Mayor Karen Bass in the runoff. Here are the results. Hasn't changed much, right? 7% saying Spencer Pratt, 33% would like to see Nithya Raman take on Mayor Bass. We do have some comments as well. We have Christina in Carson. No more celebrities in office, please, and thank you.
And Teresa from Covina says, for those peeps saying it takes too long to count votes, I say volunteer and learn the extensive secured process. Then you'll know why it takes so long. More volunteers, faster counts, perhaps.
No, I'm not buying it, dude. I'm not buying it. Let's take a look.
Check this out. We're getting new video from the IDF this morning. It shows Israeli forces striking Iranian air defense systems. This as two countries trade their first attack since the ceasefire was struck more than 2 months ago. Retired Lieutenant General Karen Gibson, former CENTCOM Director of Intelligence, is with me now. President Trump spoke about this yesterday and was asked about his red line for military action. Watch it.
I want to know what your red line is. What would trigger you to restart military action? Would it be Iran killing more American citizens?
Well, certainly that would be something that I would think about very seriously. But my red line would be if I think I wasn't going to make a deal or if I wasn't going to make a deal fast enough. So we're having very good negotiations with the people that are leading the country now.
Karen, your thoughts there?
Well, I think it's interesting, and it's, clearly the most significant violations of the ceasefire since they went into effect on April 8th. It's very difficult to call this a ceasefire at this point, but I think it's too soon to tell whether this is a one-off spasm of violence or whether we're going to return to full-scale war. And I think the things we should look for is there repeated escalatory, casualty-inducing strikes, or are the strikes going to be calibrated, coupled with diplomatic pressure? We also need to watch what's happening with the talks, both the talks between Iran and Israel that are being mediated largely by Pakistan. Do those remain on track, as well as the talks that are scheduled to happen the week of June 22nd in Washington to discuss Israel and Lebanon? Either way, whether it's full-scale war or not, it's a very bad move for commercial confidence with an increasing number of shippers choosing to sail all the way around the continent of Africa.
The Institute for the Study of War said this, that Iran is already attempting to present itself as a reasonable actor in the most recent escalation, even though its ally has...
Iran's not a reasonable actor. I think we're all aware of that. We're all aware of that, man.
started the escalation on June 7th. I asked Trey Yingst this, and I'd like to put it to you as well. Iran would love to decouple Hezbollah from the conflict that it has with the United States. But Hezbollah is the proxy of Iran, and Israel is being asked to stand down, but it does have a right to defend itself, and it looks to me like since October 7th, they are committed to doing that. So where does that leave us?
Yeah, so I actually think Israel,
I think we need to stop with the whole mail-in. I'm sorry.
Iran.
I can't watch this. I'm stuck on the California thing, man. Detail everyone missed from the Trump walkout is going viral. Oh.
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC.
Here's Trump again with Welker talking about how the elections are cooked, and then it, as the kids say, went off the rails.
evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain with you for an hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr. President,
a country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I mean, he's not wrong on that. And I feel like NBC News has not exactly acted in all fairness. I just don't think they've been very fair to him. I agree. Let's keep watching.
Wisconsin for this interview.
Oh no. Oh, she traveled to Wisconsin. Nobody wants to go to Wisconsin. She traveled. I like this version of Trump. I really do. And I think this is the
He's calling out the bullshit, dude. Trump's calling out the bullshit. I'm here for it, man. And he says she loves Trump. We all love Trump on this channel. We're all Trump, well, except for the leftists. There's obviously a lot of angry leftists who come on this channel who are not fans of our boy, but that's okay.
obvious, what we will get more and more of over these next 2.5 years. This version where he's just, I am done with you people. I have exposed so much of how fraudulent you've been from Russia, and verifying people in Hunter Biden laptop. I have done this before. And you guys, and yes, it is Trump's belief, and I don't know what the exact truth. It is Trump's belief that the Biden election, the 2020 election, was stolen, right? That is Trump's belief. Well, let me just throw to a chart on this, and I would put this up as, you decide what you want to think about this, that somehow Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama did those years. Old Joe Biden.
Yeah. Yeah, something's a little bit off.
Biden that nobody cared about, right? Like, you look at these numbers, and that year at the height of COVID, and what was it? Mail-in ballots. So you can't blame Trump.
Yes.
Like, do you have evidence? Well, he doesn't have the evidence right in front of him. But does something feel wrong that
you may not need the evidence, but you can have the suspicion. If you notice a pattern in the data that seems off, and you have a suspicion, sometimes an investigation's warranted. By the way, how can one have the evidence when there's no transparency? There's virtually no transparency I shouldn't say virtually, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of transparency in like the California elections, for example. And if there's no transparency, then of course you're not going to have the evidence. You could see a pattern, and that could be evidence in itself. And then that would warrant the investigation. And the investigation, internal investigation, I should say a third-party investigation, will reveal if there's actual wrongdoing. And that's very reasonable, by the way. It's extremely reasonable.
The height of COVID, we have that ridiculous election, and Joe Biden magically, it's the most voted in election that we've had in modern times, basically. Throw back to that. That goes all the way back to, what year is that? That's John Kerry back in 2004, something like that? Right, yeah, John Kerry in 2004. All right, that's the furthest one back.
MA Max Studios, I agree with you completely. Mama X Studios, hell yeah, dude. I agree. Crazy, though. Crazy.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. So in 20 years, right? Like, come on. Something seems off, and it was mail-in ballots that did it for Biden the first time, and then we're watching it happen again. So I think his righteous indignation in this case is righteous. And if you didn't notice, he threw the mic off. He had the little wireless lav on, and then he stepped on it, which I think was just sort of I don't know if it was intentional, but it was a perfect chef's kiss. Take a look.
We traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Don't worry, Kristen.
That was awesome, dude. Trump is a top G. Top G. Well, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the whole California election, do you guys think there's something a little bit off there? I kind of feel like there is, man. Just a feeling. Just a feeling that I have. It's just a feeling. But yeah, I'm just not trusting what's going on, essentially. And I'm just not. I'm not feeling it, dude. I don't understand why people are just blindly trusting this process. Taking a fucking week. I don't trust it, dude. I don't trust what's happening in California. I don't think a lot of people do. If you have half a brain, you'll understand that what is happening in California is unacceptable. If this happened in Texas and Florida, I would be equally as pissed as Texas and Florida. You should have a result by the end of Election Day, or at least the day after Election Day. Okay? Simple as that. It shouldn't take 5 days. It just shouldn't take 5 days. Is this day 6? It's probably day 6. I don't know. It's unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. Are you guys excited for the NBA Finals tonight? Game 3, dude. The New York Knicks versus the San Antonio Spurs. Dude, San Antonio, man, they got some ground to make up, man. They're down 2-0. This is a must-win game. They do not want to be down 0-3. You do not want to be down 0-3, man. You just don't. It's just not good, bro. But yeah, it's wild, man. Well, this is wild, man. Well, let's take a look.
Turning now to the race for LA mayor. LA City Councilwoman Nithya Raman has overtaken reality TV star Spencer Pratt for second place.
But
how interesting is that? We don't believe it. We don't buy it.
It's still unknown.
Let's take a look at the comments. Oh, comments are turned off. How convenient is that? Notice how the comments are turned off for this video. I don't think the comments were ever turned off on any of the previous videos. So this is fascinating to me. Let's take a listen.
Who will challenge Mayor Karen Bass in November. KTLA's Rachel Menishov is live in the City of Industry with a look at the numbers. Hi, Rachel.
It's because everybody under the sun believes this is totally screwed up. And they don't trust the numbers. I don't trust the numbers either. Patterns don't make any sense anymore.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Lauren. Good morning to you both. As you know, Councilmember Nithya Raman had been in third place for the last couple of days after the election. But as you mentioned, she has advanced into second place. She's ahead by about 3,100 votes. This obviously means that Spencer Pratt is now in third place, and political analysts say it is unlikely he'll be able to catch up. Let's go ahead now and look at.
That's unbelievable. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. That really doesn't make any sense to me. He was ahead. He was at 30.4%. Raman was basically a no-show, 21%. You're telling me now she's slightly ahead of him? I'm not buying it. I am not buying it.
Look at the official tally.
Oh, and then also Bass barely got any additional votes. Isn't it convenient how the one candidate who was basically non-existent and basically a nobody suddenly goes up? Huh. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe. I'm not alleging, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know.
Nation's Decision Desk HQ is projecting Nithya Raman won the second place spot in the mayoral runoff with Karen Bass. The AP is not making the call just yet, but it is looking like Bass and Raman in November, and these results reflect 83% of the vote. Raman says she is encouraged and grateful. Mayor Bass quickly released a statement critical of her likely opponent for, quote, allowing encampments outside of schools, cutting police funding, and
Karen Bass, I'm sorry, you've allowed a lot of crap too.
Ignoring our film and TV industry. Spencer Pratt has not directly responded, but posted to X indicating suspicion of the number of votes Raman gained.
Yeah, Annie, I'm not buying it either. I'm not buying it. I can't buy the snake oil that they're selling. Also, the fact that this news station decided to suddenly turn off the comments for these videos when they had the comments on before, very telling. Because they're afraid, first off, people all over YouTube are realizing this doesn't make any sense. It does make sense if you're a you-know-whatter. But we know.
He's also been posting memes to Instagram critical of how the votes are being counted. And many people have been critical of how long it has been taking to get these results. The reason being that in California, people can submit their mail-in ballot on Election Day itself, and it will be counted up until tomorrow, June 9th. Those mail ballots also have to go through signature verifications and checks before they're actually counted. President Trump said today it's not possible for Spencer Pratt to have lost his big lead, and again points to
it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. He had such a huge fucking lead. And you're telling me that's suddenly gone? We should have known either on Election Day or the day after Election Day who the real winner was. The fact that this takes so long is very, very suspicious. And I don't trust it.
A rigged election, although there isn't any evidence of election fraud.
There's patterns. Patterns can be enough evidence to warrant an investigation. Patterns of behavior. Patterns. And so, yeah, I think it needs to be federally investigated. Why not? What's the harm in it? If it gets federally investigated, what do you guys have to hide? What do you have to hide, California? You tell me.
The election was rigged. It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
Presented evidence.
It's happening
the
right now in California.
I think efforts to change the system, to make it better, to make it more efficient, that's what needs to be done. But screaming fraud in a crowded room doesn't yield anything, except it creates a lot of misinformation and bad information.
There's nothing wrong with calling out. If you believe there's fraud and you notice a pattern, there's nothing wrong with calling it out and saying that this needs to be investigated as fraud. You can allege that something is fraud. I could say allegedly I think that's fraudulent. I believe you can have an opinion on things. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion and saying that something is fraudulent if you believe it is. You could say, I believe this is fraudulent. And if it needs to be investigated, it needs to be investigated. All right?
And as you can see, votes continue to be counted this morning. LA County says the next round of votes and the results will be released around 5 o'clock tonight. That's the very latest from the City of Industry. I'm Rachel Menitoff. Lauren, Sam, back to you.
Rachel, thanks so much.
Influencers are hinting. Well, let's take a look at the Hill. I'm usually not the biggest fan of the Hill, but we'll take a look.
As Decision Desk HQ now projects, Democrat Nithya Raman will advance over Spencer Pratt in Los Angeles mayoral primary. Some on the right are expressing skepticism over those results.
A report from Semaphore details how prediction market Kalshi has asked some of their paid political influencers to remove posts that were doubting the outcome of the election. Now, a lot of this doubt does appear to stem from the fact Pratt was
There's nothing wrong with doubting it. There's nothing wrong with doubting it. Skepticism is completely healthy. Skepticism in this instance is extremely healthy. Are you kidding me? It is. It's very healthy.
Predicted to advance by prediction markets before Election Day, and Pratt had a considerable lead on election night. A Kalshi spokesperson told Semaphore the posts in question violated their affiliate marketing policies. Joining us now to discuss all of this, former head of politics for Kalshi, Jerome Zhou. Jerome, welcome to Rising.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. Can you?
God, Kalshi is so terrible, dude. I hate prediction markets so much. It's basically gambling. Let's just face it. Prediction markets are gamblers versus gamblers. You know, in a weird way, it's actually kind of ironic because that's what it's basically a pool, right? The difference between using Kalshi and DraftKings is very simple. DraftKings, the sports book, creates the odds themselves. In Kalshi, the odds are generated by how many people are voting for what outcome. So if a lot of people are voting for one outcome, well, chances are if you also end up voting for that outcome, the odds, you're not going to get the highest payout because it's more likely that that outcome is going to happen. But it's gambler versus gambler at the end of the day. And that's what Kalshi is, and how Kalshi makes the money is through small fees. No matter what, Kalshi wins. So, I mean, if Kalshi ever became a publicly traded company, sure, I would invest in Kalshi 100% because I know Kalshi is always going to make money off of these gambling degenerates. But, yeah.
Elaborate for us, what are those policies? What are the terms of the affiliate relationship? Because I could see from a free speech perspective, I mean, obviously the agreement is whatever it is, but how limited are affiliates in, opining on controversial issues?
Well, generally affiliates have pretty broad leeway, but when they make posts that are specifically about Kalshi or are sponsored by Kalshi, those are subject in the agreement to, Kalshi's own brand guidelines and its brand rules. And that is a pretty broad set of specifications. And essentially whatever Kalshi deems as potentially a, threat or a negative look for its brand, it can ask its affiliates to take down.
The fact that Kalshi makes AI ads, the fact that Kalshi generates stupid low IQ AI ads, is enough of an indicator to know that they're a scam company, allegedly.
And this has happened many times before. Late last year when there were posts from affiliates who were, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, those posts were asked to be taken down. It's essentially up to the brand what posts kind of violate those image that it's trying to put out on social media.
So what specifically crossed the line here for your team? Was it the misinformation part of it all? Was which part?
I don't think there's misinformation at all.
For your former team, I'm sorry.
If people are doubting an election, and there's, first off, I don't think it's misinformation to doubt anything. If people are doubting what is happening in this California election, that's not misinformation. It's called an opinion. All right. Everybody, if it really is a free and fair election, you have the right to question it. Simple as that. And if you don't have the right to question it and you get censored for that, it's not a free and fair election at all. Because free and fair elections are allowed to be questioned. That's what makes them free and fair. If you don't know what's going on in an election and it's not very transparent, it doesn't sound very free and fair to me. Just saying.
Well, I can't speak to this specific decision, but I think there's a couple things. First is, obviously there's not much proof for, widespread voter fraud in the LA race. And so this is...
I think patterns are enough. The fact that Spencer Pratt was at 30.4% and all of a sudden Ramen, it was at 21% or whatever, and she's now ahead of him. I don't know. Have you ever heard that patterns can be the evidence in itself? The pattern itself can be the evidence. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that fraud is happening, but it should be warranted for investigation. If there's a pattern happening that seems extremely abnormal, investigate it. What harm is there to investigate it? And if during the investigation you find nothing, then everything's fine. If during the investigation you do find something,
is, undermining confidence in that election. But the second thing is, Kalshi has markets that resolve, right, based on the official results of the election. And whether an election is certified or the results are found fraudulent actually impact how those markets settle. And so those could be also seen as undermining kind of how the trading system and how the rules of the market work. And that's probably a factor as well.
Right. I mean, you say, and I agree, there has not been evidence presented of outright or a fraud of any kind. I mean, we just talked about an interview Trump did. I've seen criticism of just the way the ballots are, the mail-in ballot system works in the state or in the city. The fact that this election has gone on, for its days and days and days, and even if it is the correct outcome and everything is being done appropriately, it certainly does not.
It's taking too long. It just shouldn't take this long to begin with. You know what I mean? Latest it should be is the day after the election. The day after the election, we should know the results. And that's where I have the problem here. That's where the problem lies.
Not inspire a lot of confidence that it takes so long to know the results, and the result changes so dramatically over that time period. How does can you comment on how Kalshi is calibrated for those kinds of situations? I mean, obviously people are looking at the fact that it predicted one thing and something else is apparently happening, and that can happen with polls and predictions and everything. But can you give us more information on how those determinations work, or how the algorithm works for Kalshi?
Yeah. So how the market works is there's thousands, millions of buyers and sellers who sort of determine the right price, the fair market price for an election. And actually, I think this is a case where the markets are actually extremely helpful, because if you just look at the vote results, on election night, Pratt was ahead by somewhere around 8 points, right? And that looks like a very strong lead.
That is a pretty damn strong lead.
If you look at the markets, yes, he is favored to advance, but the markets speak in probabilities. So he was at around like a 75% and 80% chance to advance.
Yeah.
Which is high given his lead, but it's not 100%. The market's kind of always priced in this chance that the late votes, because we saw them in the vote returns, were skewing more heavily Democratic, and that potentially could boost the Democrats in the LA mayoral election and in the governor's race.
Yeah, we should still be questioning the hell out of this, though. Absolutely,
and
be
I
questioning
think
the hell out of this.
Even though Pratt's chances have now cratered down to like 1%, and DDHQ has called it, it's not like a sudden drop. It's over the course of multiple days, his percentage fell from 75 down to 60, and then down to 50.
We're still not buying what you're selling. Let's take a look at the comments real quick. This person says, Christopher Walsh says 24,000 mail-in votes and not one for Pratt. Impossible. So I don't know how true that is.
Laugh out loud.
I don't know how true that is, but hey, Lou, the chicken dude, thank you for the silver star, my brony. Thank you very much. If you guys want to send a gift, it does help out. The more gifts you send, the better. So we greatly appreciate any gifts that you guys send. Feel free to send as many as you want or as little as you want. It's up to you. But gifts really do help the channel. But yeah, you know what? It's so funny. Everybody, if you look at the comments on all of these videos, people are disgusted with California because, one, this shouldn't have taken so long. Two, it is very odd that Spencer Pratt had such a huge lead and all of a sudden it's evaporated over a 5-day span. It just doesn't, it's not adding up. let's see here. But I do want to thank you guys for tuning in, though. So at the moment, we're gonna end the stream. I'm a little tired. I've already been streaming for about 2.5 hours, but I do want to thank you guys for the gifts. Really appreciate it big time. Super cool, super amazing. You guys help the channel grow in a lot of ways, but I will catch you all later. And I'll be doing a stream later on tonight. I got to do some laundry at my pop's place, and